Hello there. Welcome to Blue Milk Latte, a Star Wars podcast. I am your host, Kent Blue Milk Latte Solace, and with me, as always, is my trusty co-pilot aboard the Blue Milk Latte Star Cruiser, Chris Christophsis Meade.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey, this week we are talking all things Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. We watched it, we loved it, liked it, and
Loved it.
stuff. Loved it, yep. And it was really great. And we're going to do a light spoiler review. There will be some spoilers. We're not going to go too deep because we do want to leave some surprises just for your viewing pleasure. So if you have seen it, great. You can join in on the fun with us. And if you haven't seen it yet, you'll get a couple things here and there, but nothing that I don't think too crazy.
Yeah.
But before we get into the meat of the review itself, let's go over our Star Wars adventures from this previous month. Normally I say week, but we have taken a brief break from doing audio. We did a couple YouTube videos in between here and there, and I did come down with a little bit of a cold, so we did take just a week break also there out of precaution, but we're back and we're stronger than ever. But yeah, Chris, in this last month, has had quite a Star Wars adventure. So, Chris, go ahead and kick us off, man.
All right. So this last week, the wife and I played hooky from school and went down to Hollywood to see Obi-Wan Kenobi himself get the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's like a once-in-a-lifetime sort of thing. He's never going to get a star ever again.
Yeah, and we got there super early, so we were pretty close.
Yeah. Nice.
We were like one person away from like the fence.
Yeah.
And then the fence was like 20 feet away from where he is.
Yeah. Did you see the sweat glisten on his forehead?
Yeah, pretty close.
Nice.
What's that?
Did he have the higher ground than you when he was getting his award, or did you have the higher ground?
No, he had the higher ground. They had a little platform.
Always.
Yeah, any of my Facebook friends saw, because it was he, and then the person who spoke right before he got the star was Hayden Christensen, and so my caption was the two cool guys sharing the high ground.
Yeah,
because they were both on the platform together at some point.
Yeah.
It's good times.
Very nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, this is your, second, third time meeting Mr. McGregor? Or seeing him,
second.
I guess?
Second time for me. My wife has seen him live a couple, one, I think she went and saw him when he was on Tonight Show at some point. Way back when, but I think this is the first time, this is the second time I've seen him real in live, live and in person.
Yeah, and for those who don't follow the Blue Milk Latte lore and watch or listen to every single episode, just a little bit of a behind the scenes thing. Chris's wife, had she not married Mr. Chris here, would probably attempt to marry Ewan McGregor. Correct?
Yeah,
she's got quite the eyes for him.
Yeah, no. As soon as I saw the date, it popped up on my Facebook feed when it was happening, and I sent her the screenshot. And I was like, "So I guess we're doing this," and she was like, "Yep."
Yeah. And you do have also an upcoming Star Wars adventure that you can drop. Also featuring Mr. McGregor as well.
Yeah, in 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
At the LA Comic-Con, we are doing the photo op.
Yep.
We'll see how it goes, because she barely kept her shit together for the for the autograph session we had during Celebration in 22? 23, 22?
We're in 2024. I think 23.
Was it 23?
Yeah.
Because there's a celebration in between.
I think it was last year.
Because England was 23, I thought.
No? I think we went last year around springtime. Well, no, hold on. I could do this with 22. I think you're right. Because my baby was fresh, and I felt bad for leaving them behind, but I was like, I've been planning on this thing since pre-pandemic, and I have to go. Yeah. So I think you were right. I'm sorry. 2022.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the Celebration Europe happened after that, and the next one's not till this 2025.
Very nice.
So,
very nice. Did you get to take a picture with the star? Did you touch the star? Were you there for just the ceremony?
We were there for the ceremony, and then they had we had to get back before the traffic got bad, so we didn't really hang out until they cleared all the stuff off. The only downside where his star is that there was not a good angle to see him actually lift the cover off the star and all that, because it's behind this giant metal box. That's some kind of street side transformer or something like that.
Yeah.
And so as everyone, even the guys behind me that were kind of paparazzi type guys, were stationed behind me, were kind of bitching about how there was not a real good angle for that.
Yeah.
Unless you were part of the invited press that had a little stand set up facing it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
No, it's cool. Like he spoke. Ewan did a thing, and then Hayden did a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not in that order. And then they had a director from one of his earlier films, Beginners.
Beginners. Okay.
That he did with Christopher Plummer.
Okay. He was up there talking.
He was the other one who talked. There's a bunch, and then in the audience, and he's like invited guest was a kind of random assortment of like TV writers and producers. And Jerry Bruckheimer was there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
He didn't speak, but he was there.
Yeah.
Like, they called him out, and he stood up and waved at us. So I got to see Jerry Bruckheimer.
Nice, very nice.
And of course, his lovely, I want to say partner. I don't think they're married. Mary Elizabeth Winstead was there.
Oh yes.
And
No, I think they are married, buddy.
Are they? Okay.
I think so.
I don't know. I don't want to get it wrong. So I think.
Yeah.
I know they have at least one child together, but
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. I don't know what their status is exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was there, and he had, I think, 4 of his kids were there.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, he's got a bunch of kids, and like most of them were there. I don't think they were all there, but I think most of them were there. So that was kind of cool too.
Yeah, they were married in 2022.
Okay.
So yeah,
Right, so
Hera
like,
Syndulla herself, and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. So we had three big Star Wars names there. We had Obi-Wan, we had Anakin,
Darth.
and we had Hera Syndulla were there.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
I am slightly jealous. I was thinking about going, but I really had to go to work that day. But then again, who does, right?
I mean, I gave up
Yeah.
my day's wages for that. So,
Yeah. I gotcha. Cool, man. Any other? I think most things might pale in comparison, but any other Star Wars adventures you wanna?
I'm trying to think. I think I'm starting to read the Return of the Jedi from a certain point of view. I started reading that one. I got to the first story so far, so we'll see how that.
Intriguing.
It's good. The first one is what's his name? Is it Jar Jar from the that's the admiral guy that's overseeing the Death Star construction.
Okay.
Yeah, so the first story is about him.
Nice. Okay.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Talking about how he's gonna how is he supposed to redouble his efforts and hit the Emperor's timelines when it's impossible.
Yeah.
And Vader's kind of being a jerk and being like, "That's not my problem. You figure it out."
Yeah. You're in middle management, baby.
Yeah.
You figure. Yeah. Very nice. I'll be very brief on my Star Wars adventure. I've had little things here and there. One thing that I do briefly want to mention, since it's the first time we were doing a show since his passing, is bring up James Earl Jones, R.I.P. James.
Yeah, definitely.
Earl Jones. Yeah, we do plan on doing a little commemorative episode for him later on. Once not to overestimate anything, but I think I'm still kind of processing too, because he did have, I think I speak for all of us listening, he did have a pretty huge impact on us, from an entertainment standpoint and just the world at large of movies and television, and he was a pretty big force. So.
I mean, he was the voice of CNN.
Yeah. What's funny too is a very quick small anecdote. I worked where Chris and I first met at Barnes & Noble, and I remember this is a very small thing. This is very in comparison to the rest of his work, I think, but he did a narration for this King James Version audio set Bible, and I would always promote, if anybody remotely wanted to listen to the Bible on audio, that's the very first thing I would grab. It's you don't want to miss this one. It's read by James Earl Jones.
Well, I mean, who else would you want to hear read the Bible than James Earl Jones? I mean, James Earl Jones.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to
Freeman, or trying to think who else I'd want to hear the Bible read by.
Pee Wee Herman. No? Okay. Sorry.
Also,
that took a side turn. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's get back on track. Okay. So, my Star Wars adventure was, as soon as we all heard the news about James Earl Jones, my first initial thought was just to, watch The Empire Strikes Back and just take it all in. Because, I think he did deliver one of the most important lines in movie history. And I don't say that as an understatement either. I really do think, by him saying, "I am your father," that is, one of the most memorable lines in all of movie history.
It's not when he says, "What?" At the end of New Hope?
No, probably. I mean, that one's up there, I'm sure, but yeah, no. So, I just watched The Empire Strikes Back with a very keen ear to his performance, and really, just I think we have Star Wars Adventures every day as Star Wars fans, but that I think was probably the highlight of the last couple weeks from what I've done, and I don't know how to segue into this, but yeah, let's just get right into Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. It was a 4-part mini-series based on, obviously, the Lego Star Wars franchise. It was dropped on September 13th on Disney Plus, and the guys from I believe the same guys who brought us the live-action version of Detective Pikachu and the newest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Mutant Mayhem one, in 2023 last year. Dan Hernandez and Benji Samit were the showrunners on it. So when this thing was initially pitched, I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention or not. I thought it was just going to be like one of the specials, like how we've normally had.
I did too. Like, I had the same thought.
Yeah, summer vacation, Halloween, the Christmas holiday special, all that stuff. But this is a little different in that it's a TV. I mean, they call it a miniseries, but it's a TV show that also seems very set up to have kind of multiple takes.
Right.
Multiple seasons, if you will.
Well, it's almost like, because this is the second Star Wars Lego kind of show they've done, because there was also what's it called? The Freemaker Chronicles?
Yeah.
Was another one that was a few years ago.
That one was pretty good.
That was like a Star Wars, like a Lego Star Wars like show.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think before that they had like the Yoda Chronicles, which didn't necessarily have seasons, but it definitely had different parts to it.
Well, I thought that wasn't that more like shorts or like I don't know.
Maybe it was like shorts, but when I was watching, I was just viewing it kind of like as a TV show. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, series follows Sig Griebling and who accidentally activates a powerful Jedi relic that rewrites reality, forcing him to restore things to normal. And we did get a lot of cool stuff in the trailer.
Yeah.
The trailer does an excellent job of, enticing you to watch it.
Almost too much?
Yeah, almost. Because, some of the coolest ones that I thought would be expanded upon when watching the series isn't necessarily there. Like, pretty specifically, I'm going to, like we said, we are going to do light spoilers here, so just keep that in mind.
I figure if it's in the trailer, it's not really too big a spoiler.
True. So we have Darth Jar Jar, right?
Yeah.
He is in the 3rd episode, I believe.
Yeah.
Is when he comes out. And I think 50% of the entire thing is in the trailer anyway.
Yeah.
And the rest of it, there's just a smidge more in the show, but not much more than what's there. So I was really jonesing for that one.
Right.
Hey, look at that, Jones. I was really jonesing to see more Darth Jar Jar because I do enjoy a good Jar Jar appearance as much as I can get, actually, because I am a Jar Jar apologist or what have you. I do love the character. I love Ahmed Best and all that. So I was there for that.
Well, plus it's a fun kind of Easter egg to the Darth Jar Jar rumor theory that like he was originally meant to be the Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Like he would have been like Palpatine's apprentice or master or something like that. And he was, playing the Yoda part where he's like acting real dumb, but then he's actually like, the one
the brains behind the thing,
behind the whole thing.
And then this they kind of just use it as like a one-off gimmick almost, which is fine, I guess.
No, but this is kind of a nod to that theory, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Kind of an Easter egg.
Yeah.
Kind of one of those if you know situations.
Yeah,
moments.
It's definitely a one way Lucasfilm is saying, hey, we listen to the internet rumblings and the funny theories and this and that. We hear you. We're going to put this in a show. Right. Sort of thing. Even if it is very brief. Very quickly to go over some of the voice cast. Gaten Matazzaro, of Stranger Things fame. Yep. Dusty from Stranger Things. Kind of plays our main... Not kind of. He does play like our main protagonist in Sig Griebling. And there's also Tony Revolori? Sure. He's in a lot of other stuff. Like, I think Grand Budapest Hotel. He plays Flash in the Spider-Man movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
okay.
actor. Yeah. He plays the older brother, Dev Griebling. Bobby Moynihan of Saturday Night Live fame plays Jedi Bob, which was pretty good.
J Bob was great. I love J
I
Bob.
like Jedi Bob. I think there's a certain type of Star Wars fan, and in most of us that would like Jedi Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then some of the returning voice cast, we have Mark Hamill voicing Luke Skywalker. Granted, a very different Luke Skywalker than we are used to.
The rumor I heard or something I read somewhere that he was really they're really kind of writing him like he was in Corvette Summer.
Yeah.
That was the idea, was that they're gonna do like a Corvette Summer version of Luke Skywalker.
Nice. That's funny. We did have Naomi Aki. She's returning to do Jedi Jenna. Ahmed Best obviously was Darth Jar Jar. Anthony Daniels. Man, Anthony Daniels, I think he goes down as maybe one of the few people that's been in, like, if not all, like 90% of all these Star Wars projects. Cause
I don't think they only ever use him to the voice, so like he's the only ever one,
Yeah, until he's
Do you think
done.
he's gonna be one of those guys like James Earl Jones who's gonna sign over the AI rights to his voice?
I hope so. But then again, I've never, we don't know much beyond what's in the interviews and stuff. But he does seem fairly protective of C-3PO at the same time as well, at least in interviews.
Right.
So I mean, I hope that's like a whole can of worms that we could probably do a whole episode on. Just like, how do we feel about performers signing over their likenesses and talents to be used in future projects? Because on one hand, it is great. I do think about like my daughter growing up in future Star Wars stories, and it would be nice to have those things attached to them. But at the same time, there is kind of a sacredness to some of these things.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that myself. Do you kind of have like a side of the fence that you come down on?
I'm okay if they're okay with it. Like,
sure, that's a good.
Like James Earl Jones, he they approach, however that went down, he signed off on it, and so he went and did the work to record a bunch of random things that then they can splice together to make to do stuff with. So.
Yeah, that is a really tricky thing to approach too. It's like, can you imagine like going to one of these actors or performers being like, hey, so you're getting up there in age and blah blah blah, like how does that even like just for future things we want to do this, how do you feel about that? I mean, I'm sure like some of his family members or most of his family members, however they work that out, will be taken care of in a way for quite a while, so that's nice. That's nice peace of mind.
Well, that's probably why he did it too. It's kind of a safety net for his loved ones.
Yeah, so I mean, that is I like what you said. I think I 110% agree with you. If the actor, if the performer is cool with it, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to get in a rabbit hole, but there's the opposites happening in a different news story that we can talk about offline.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you want to talk about?
I don't want to go down necessarily the whole rabbit hole, but I always go back to the Future too.
Yeah.
With Crispin Glover.
Right.
That's a prime example. He did not want. He only wanted his likeness and his stuff attached to it. He did not want other performers or anybody else to do it. So in that case, it gets a little interesting. I think I still technically do side with. I know I'm conflicting right now with things, but I do kind of side with Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis a little bit though, because I mean they created the character, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are you talking about?
Oh, there's a whole Peter Cushing thing in the news right now.
Is there?
Yeah. Over Rogue One, all of a sudden now.
Oh
his best friend is suing for the rights.
We could definitely talk about that. It is Star Wars related, so
yeah,
might as well just crack into it just a smidge. So what? His estate is coming out?
No, it's like his best friend
for like on his behalf.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
His best friend is like, hey, I don't think Pete would have liked this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't read. To be honest, I have not read too far anyway. I just kind of glanced at headlines, but it seems as if that's what's happening. But you're like, Rogue One came out how many years ago? 10?
Yeah, we're at 2008. So, no, what the heck am I saying? 2016. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So 8 years ago. Yeah, that's where my brain was going.
8 years ago.
8 years ago.
So it seems like you're kind of late to like. I don't know. It's a weird. Yeah, it's weird.
It is a weird timing thing.
Because if you really did you just now get around to watching that movie?
Yeah.
I don't know. it's above my pay grade.
Yeah. That's kind of like, in like 5 years from now, like, I don't know, like Billy Lord, Carrie Fisher's daughter, being like, hey, I mean, it's a very different story. But like, you probably shouldn't use my mom's stuff. It's like, where were you years ago when we actually did it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, continue on with some of the voice guest appearances here. That Kelly Marie Tran did voice Darth Rose, which is kind of a nice little nod that she is still friendly around the Lucasfilm camp and stuff. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, she usually will show up for doing her voice work for these Lego things because she was also did her voice in the holidays and Halloweens or whatever the couple holiday specials that she was in.
Mm-hmm.
She showed back up again.
Yeah, and then Sam Witwer.
Of course,
it does Maul, and Maul is also very good.
Yeah,
in this show. I
was not expecting Maul. I was very surprised by what they did with him.
Yeah. And then lastly, light spoilers, guys. Billy D. Williams is in there at the end for a smidge as the Landolorian, and that does kind of tee up like a second season too, because he's very much so just like a little like tease at the end.
Yeah.
Like that's it. So I was not expecting that at all. I was expecting a very nicely contained little special event and I would enjoy it and have a good time. But not to say that I didn't have a good time, but this was a 4-part, 25-minute thing and they're very digestible in their 25-minute spots. And then we got that teaser. They were like, "Oh my gosh, we're going to do more of these. That's pretty cool."
Well, especially where it all ends, where it just leaves it way open to do more, and go further.
Yeah, and separate rabbit hole that we can kind of go down. I wonder if they're doing that to fill in some of the blank space that might be coming up in the coming years for Disney Plus content. In that, if you look at 2020 to 2023, Disney was just dumping money into Disney Plus with this series. You get a series, you get a series, you get a series. And then obviously with Bob Iger's return, they're switching gears back to feature films. So the latest reports is we're only going to be getting one live action Star Wars show per year, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, no,
I'm
fine.
Totally cool with that. But like I think there will be other like little tiny like sub things like this Lego Star Wars show might have continuing things. I'm sure there's going to be documentaries here and there that are just tied to different things that pop up or get dropped every once in a while.
Yeah, well, because we're coming up on Attack of the Clones should have an anniversary coming up pretty soon, right?
Yeah.
Because Phantom Menace just did theirs.
Yeah.
This last year, so Attack of the Clones would be next for their 25. Yeah, 25.
Well, for that'll be in 2027. But then again, we're going to be having it's going to get very interesting here very soon because technically in 3 years, The Last Jedi will have been out for a decade.
Right.
And then for instance, next year, Christmas time next year is the 10-year anniversary of The Force Awakens and Revenge of the Sith.
Wow.
So next year's a big year for anniversaries. We get both the Revenge of the Sith and The Force Awakens.
Nice.
A 10-year and a 20-year.
Nice.
So I wonder which one will get more of the specialty treatment, or both.
Revenge of the Sith.
Because you think so? Yeah, because there is a May release for Revenge of the Sith and a December release, so maybe they'll both get their limelight. But it just from a special standpoint, I'm sure one might get a little bit more favor.
Well, I'm hoping at the very least we'll get theatrical re-releases
for both.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. Okay, switch. Let's get back into this here. So the first special introduces the brothers. It introduces their life on their planet. They are literally Nerf herders, which is pretty great.
They actually have Lego Nerfs, which are fun.
Yeah. And then they kind of get. That's when he meets Jedi Bob, the main kid here, Sig. He meets Jedi Bob there, and then that's when he also unravels the kind of the MacGuffin that moves everything forward is this corner piece.
Yeah, the corner piece.
Yeah, thing that just unravels things, and then that's when there's a really cool little 45-second sequence where you see stuff getting switched up here and there. You see they're fighting on Hoth, and then they get switched to I think some random like sun planet, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's more like a desert, and then the AT-ATs have like rebellion phoenixes on them.
Yeah, and then one of my little personal favorites. There's the Battle of Crate, where he goes salt, where he tastes the thing. Except this time he goes pepper.
Right. Yeah.
I thought that was like so silly. It's probably like very dad jokey, but I just thought I thought it was great.
That's where those Lego movies, all those Lego stuff shines, and those little like dad joke moments.
Yeah,
silly little jokes.
Yeah. And then so that's, I mean, there's a lot more that happens in there, but that's kind of like the gestation period of what goes on in that first episode. And then the second episode, we get to meet Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Except in this case, he's not necessarily the Luke that we're used to.
No. He's a pod racer.
Yeah, he's a potter. Yeah, and
on a water planet.
Yeah,
Tatooine is like looks like Scarif.
Yeah, and I very much so got like, just from a visual standpoint, not like attitude or anything, but just from a visual standpoint, I very much so got like Dog the Bounty Hunter in Star Wars.
Oh yeah, no, he was definitely like Florida Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
gold chain.
I did
Hawaiian
not.
Shirt.
I did not have that on my bingo card at all. This Luke Skywalker would have never pulled a lightsaber on his nephew.
No,
he would have taken him like on a beer run or something wild. He would have been like, "Hey, Kylo, you're feeling down? Let's go on a beer run. You'll feel better."
Right.
Something so silly like that.
Take him out, dynamite fishing.
Yeah. And then also, so his older brother is Darth Devastator, short for Dev, or not short, but longer for Dev.
I thought that was kind of like that. How like his name is Dev, and then in this alternate world he was Darth Dev, and then it was like, okay, it's just his name. No, it's just short for Devastator.
Yeah. And then we also in this episode we have Ewok bounty hunters.
Yep.
And C-3PO is also like this crazy like red-eyed bounty hunter, and he's like badass
in like a gold Naboo ship.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. He's
very kind of reminiscent of what's the comic character? Is it Double Triple Zero or
Bucket
or BT?
No, he has like a really funny name, like Blood Bucket. No, not Bucket of Blood.
Because it's he in a black. There's a black protocol droid, a black R2 unit, and then it's like they're 000 and BT something or other.
Yeah, he is very reminiscent of those guys. Yeah. You're right. And then let's see here. And then part 3, Sig and his companions escape with the help of Luke, Dog the Bounty Hunter Luke. And then in this one, this is cool. This is where we get to meet the like all the dark side characters. Yeah, but as Jedi. Palpatine, Jedi Vader, Jabba, Dooku, and what's weird is like they're not bad. They're just very
lazy.
Yeah, they're like the most lazy Jedi ever.
No, I kind of love Jedi Palpatine. Was kind of my favorite of the whole group, where he's just like still kind of Palpatine-y, but just like good, but also terrible.
Yeah. What's interesting in this one, is that Leia is still a rebellion general. She's like the only one that doesn't really get the switcheroo treatment. Do you think?
There's some other ones that stay good, but because like Windu's still there, but when he's not a Jedi.
True. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But
do you think that's like their way of saying like no matter like what the circumstances are, like Leia would always be like this?
Maybe. Well, I mean, and Han was still a smuggler.
Yeah. Oh, and that brings us to the next good one. Leia does not have the hots for a very attractive Han Solo. She has the hots for Greedo.
Yeah, Han Solo is the Chewbacca to Greedo's Han Solo.
That was a pretty good little psych out, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. So, what else is going on in there? However,
the clone troopers.
The clone troopers. Yeah.
They were all Akbars.
Yep. Yeah, those were in there. That was weird. I don't know how I felt about that one. All the Mon Calamari as the
they were all clones of Akbar.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, it's like cloning Django. All the clone troopers are all literally just Akbar.
I didn't even pick. I just thought they were random Calamari. Okay,
no, they're all Akbars.
Okay, that's a lot of traps.
Yep.
Oh boy. Yeah, that was good. Let's see here. And then bringing up the rear here in part 4, Dev forces Sig to use the cornerstone to activate a warship laser, which destroys and recreates their homeworld of Vanessa as a green pastoral world. Because when they were on there, it was kind of just like empty plains and stuff like that.
Kind of like Navarro.
Yeah. And then, is this the first appearance of the Dark Falcon in this one?
Yes.
Where we get the Dark.
I think so. Yeah.
We haven't built it yet, but we actually own the Dark Falcon.
Nice.
It was a very splurgy purchase, but we got it and we need to build it at some point.
And then figure out where we're going to put it, because Falcons are big when you build them.
They are. And also we have the 2-year-old, so we got to put it high enough to where she doesn't do anything crazy with it. Also in this episode, we have Jedi Palpatine fighting off against the Ewok bounty hunters and evil C-3PO, which is pretty great. And we also have, Sig and Bob defeating Dev during a climactic duel and reclaiming the cornerstone and then putting it back together with Yessie and a rebuilt Servo. We'll very briefly talk about Servo.
I don't know. I like Servo. I love how he just starts with a Gonk droid, and then there's like, oh, you can put guns on him. You can fix him up. You can make him do anything.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't make him talk.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed it, because I don't know if you usually skip the intros, but after they did that, when you watch the opening where it goes through all the droids, he pops up and starts talking.
Does he?
Yeah, he has like a little line right before the show starts.
Only in the 4th special or in the 4th episode?
The 3rd or 4th one.
I'll have to double check that. I normally don't skip, but I didn't notice that. That's pretty funny. Nice. Let's see here. So they rebuild the thing, and then they travel to the planet Aliston Nor to continue Sig's training, and then Darth Ray and Darth Rose, like we said, they go to hire Lando, Lorian, and Grogu to hunt down Sig. Very, very setting up something coming.
Right.
So, very brief intros. There's a lot more good stuff in there, so definitely watch it if you haven't already. But what were your overall thoughts when you were done with it, Chris?
I really liked it, and it was a lot more emotional than I was expecting.
Yes.
Usually those Star Wars Lego Star Wars things are kind of light and silly and kind of goofy and just fun. And this one had some pretty heavy stuff happening.
Yeah. It definitely the relationship between Sig and Dev, the brothers, is really, really
intense.
Intense. It has some hard-hitting moments for sure that you don't think, hey, wait a minute, we're watching a really silly, funny Lego Star Wars everything is switched up type thing. But no, they're hitting you with wanting of love and trust and brotherhood and
going from being close brothers to then being mortal enemies. And,
yeah. It's got some pretty interesting stuff in there, which I don't think hinders it at all. It's
no.
If anything, it's welcoming.
Yeah, it's not a knock on it. It was surprising.
Yeah,
I was not expecting to have feelings about this it by the end.
Yeah, be on the verge of oh boy, I think I might shed one little tear here. Oh boy, very cool. Would you? Obviously, we would both, I think, watch a second part to this whole
definitely.
thing. What are some interesting switcheroo things that you think might pop in there?
Chewbacca
as a bad guy.
It's something, because there is literally no Chewbacca.
Yeah, true. They could do that, and then they could have what's his name from Book of Boba Fett?
Black Chrysanthemum?
Yeah, they could have Black Chrysanthemum be the really, really good Wookiee.
Yeah.
Be a really funny little thing. But I think the people that would get it would think it's funny. Instead of pulling arms off of people, he pulls legs.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. That'd be kind of funny. Something like that.
That seems as a very Lego joke to do.
Yeah. And we are kind of set in the timeline. They do play around with a lot of stuff here, but timeline wise, I don't think it's circa right after the original trilogy.
No, it's after Rise.
Is it?
Yeah.
But then why is I guess Leia would still be there. Well,
Yeah, they kind of mash it all together after he rebuilds the universe. But
Yeah,
because I want to, because he in the opening episode where he's retelling the Skywalker saga,
yeah,
he talks about Rey,
yeah,
about the Sith coming back and defeating Palpatine again or whatever.
yeah. I think it'd be really funny to have who's the actor? He's a really well-known actor that plays the client in The Mandalorian.
Oh, Werner Herzog?
Yeah, you bring.
Werner
He
Herzog?
would never do it because it's the freaking Lego special. But
Right.
can you imagine having him back as like a good, like rebel informant or something? And he's
Yeah.
like just voice. I would like to see the baby, but like in a good way, like
Right.
in a nice way. I guess you could get a voice actor that just sounds like him and just do it that
And you
way.
could have him like run like a daycare center or something.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
That's a good one.
I mean, they didn't really tap into the Mando verse at all, other than that last little tease.
Yeah.
So there's no Din Djarin or even like Boba Fett or Jango Fett or any of those guys that don't make any appearances.
Yeah.
And I would be pretty sure you could probably get Tamora Morrison to like pop in to do a couple days in the booth to record some like Boba lines or some Jango lines.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, man. Very nice. Anything else you want to touch on here with Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy?
I do like the what was it? I like how they swapped the ship wings. So like X-wings had like TIE fighter wings and TIE fighters had like X-wing wings.
Yeah. That
cool.
was interesting.
Which is actually that's one of the official sets that came out of this is that set where you can build you can just pop the wings off and interchange them.
Yeah. Is there a specific ship or character in Lego form that you would want from this special? I mean, I'm sure they've released at least half of the good stuff.
Yeah.
But is there anything that you could think of like randomly? Like, I think I would really like Darth Jar Jar, which we have in
he's in that set.
in the Dark Falcon set, and then I would also really like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
That would be a really good little minifig to have.
I mean, really, so the game has been out for so long, they really need to put like a character pack of the characters from this into the Lego Star Wars game.
Yeah, as like a little expansion.
Yeah, we can just add those characters in, or do a game based on this. On this show.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, one other thing I wanted to touch on, because if you listen to the Clone Wars Revisited stuff, I like to always bring up the quality of the animation, right?
Right.
And something I want to mention on this special, if you haven't already, just from an animation standpoint, it's quite beautiful.
Yeah, it's
like,
really good.
Yeah, like you can tell, I think, on some of the older stuff, like the fact that it was made straight to TV or straight to DVD or something like that. But if you're familiar with like the Lego movie or the Lego Batman movie, for instance, those things have like, I feel like a production value and quality that's like on this next level.
Well,
this
I think
thing
on those movies, some of that stuff was practical. It wasn't all CG. Some of it was actually they had actual Legos they filmed.
Yeah, for sure, like stop motion sort of thing. Yeah, this is on that level. The Lego Batman, the Lego movies, like it is that good quality.
The textures are good, and there's some fun stuff with like some fun little details, like with Jedi Bob. Like he looks like an older Lego figure because he's got the yellow head versus like the current ones are all like kind of skin tone heads, but like he's still yellow head, and his like chest has kind of got scratches and dings in it.
Yeah,
he's an older Lego piece.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I just wanted to bring that up very briefly. Yeah, man. I think, unless there's anything else you want to add, we'll call it there.
No, I think we kind of covered most everything without getting into the deep spoilers of it all.
Yeah. We'll leave that for just for people to, if they haven't seen it, I don't want to go too hard on it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you guys. Very quick housekeeping stuff. We are trying to be active on both our audio podcast world and our YouTube stuff, as well as if you're just into Star Wars memes as well. Make sure to please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and even TikTok. And please give us a sub on YouTube. That'd be much appreciated. We're very small at the moment on YouTube. We're at 88. We're trying to get to at least 100, and then after 100, we'll set a goal for like 500 and kind of just go from there.
Well, I think at 500 we can start monetizing. We're pretty close.
Yeah, I think it's closer to 1,000
Is it closer to 1,000?
usually,
Okay.
but I mean, I feel like it's one of those things where once we once we get a decent amount of subscribers, it's exponentially easier to just keep growing because then algorithms, baby.
Right.
Yep. Anyway, but for those that have been listening for quite some time, if you're still listening to us, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We do this. This is a thing of love. Especially on Chris's part. For me, for the most part, I just have to walk into my garage and we're production ready. But Chris, I thank you so much for always making the time to come over and spending the gas and all that fun stuff to come over and talk Star Wars with us here, and for everybody listening at home. Thank you for all your time as well. We really appreciate it. Chris, what would you like to leave with the good people?
I like to quote my favorite James Earl Jones quote from Star Wars.
Okay,
and leave us with. What?
And I will leave us with my second favorite James Earl Jones quote as Darth Vader. No!